So Rockingham Road, the Poppies are looking to take on Kidderminster Harriers, their old rivals in this conference game. The Poppies looking to extend their unbeaten run to 6 games, while Kidderminster themselves have had a fairly patchy start. They've won every game at home, but they haven't yet got a point away, and the Poppies will be looking to make sure that their record, that is Kidderminster's, doesn't improve this afternoon. Kidderminster field 2 ex-Poppies, Ian Arnold, who the Poppies fans will remember with a good deal of pleasure, and Leroy May, who never really achieved his potential while he was at Rockingham Road, but he's been scoring a lot of goals for Kidderminster this season, and the Poppies' defence that's been so solid so far will have to be on their best mettle to keep him out. I'm sure Colin Vowden, who'll be leading the defence, and the Poppies will be making sure his players are at their best this afternoon to secure the 3 points up for grabs and maintain the good performance that's been at Rockingham Road so far this season. Expectations are high amongst the fans at Rockingham Road as the Poppies take the field. They playing Kidderminster. Kidderminster haven't won at Rockingham Road for the last 5 years. The last time they managed to get the 3 points here was the year they won the conference when the Poppies were runners-up, and Kidderminster take the field with rather less enthusiasm that we've seen than the Poppies, but this will certainly be a tough game for both sides. Kidderminster yet to get a point away from home. The Poppies having had 2 draws in their last 2 games. Kidderminster side contains Leroy May and Ian Arnold, both familiar names at Rockingham Road. Jimmy Skelding too, ex-Bromsgrove player, has played more than a game here before. And the Kettering side shows Brett McNamara taking his place. There was some doubt about him in midweek. He picked up an injury, but he's fit enough to resume. The captains are about to toss, but before the game gets underway, there will be a minute's silence in memory of Gareth Price, favourite son of Kettering Town, who died sadly this week, just 28 years old. And will be thought of with much affection by the Poppies fans. So respectful silence there in memory of Gareth Price, and now everybody settling down, waiting for the game to get underway. Raining here at Rockingham Road, but that won't dampen the spirits, I'm sure. Phil Brown in action straight away, but it's Kidderminster who get first possession. John Deacon, who's been a Kidderminster regular for some years, with the ball there. But Paul Cox, who's had a terrific start this season for the Poppies, able to clear that danger away. Hinton now having his intended pass blocked by McNamara. Poppies on the attack here with Carl Adams for the ball through there. Andy Mason, close to getting the first chance on goal, just a bit too far forward, the ball skipping off the wet surface. So Kidderminster break away again. Deacon is influential in midfield this afternoon. Skelding playing with his right foot. Strange that a left back should be predominantly right-footed, but stranger things happen in football now, and McNamara here under pressure, trying to get the ball back to Eddie Hayes, but cleared out for a catch and throw. So Hayes to Phil Brown. Phil Brown, who's a close friend of Gareth Price, his mind might not be 100% on the game this afternoon. This man's will be, though. Ian Arnold, he always seems to pull out his best performances against Kettering. And another long ball from Martin Matthews, and Andy Mason just caught offside. Good play there, though, from Matthews. He's proved to be a very capable player since he joined the Poppies in close season from Kings Lynn. And here we have Arnold again slipping. The crowd will enjoy that one. And all the players seem to be having some difficulty coping with what is a very wet and slippery surface. And Steve Wilson, ex-Leicester City, out to Matthews. His long ball forward to McNamara. But again, it's Kidderminster who are having the best of the opening exchanges. Eddie Hayes bringing down Deacon there. The referee signalling that he was tugging on his shirt, and I know that the referees are being told this year to take a very serious view of that. Arnold with the free kick in there, and it comes off Mark Hone's head for a corner, the first corner of the game to Kidderminster. And here the ball comes in short, cleared away there quite comfortably by the Poppies defence. Peter Morris, I know, is keen to see the Poppies creating more chances. The last couple of games they've not been doing that to any great extent, and that's been a bit of a worry. The goal glut of the early season drying up. But here's a free kick for Kidderminster, the ball coming in there but not getting into the danger area. It does now, and Steve Wilson catches that very comfortably. He's improved as he's staked his claim for the goalkeeping jersey. Adam Sollitt, the other goalkeeper at Kettering, he's been injured and finding it difficult now to get back into the side. And here's Carl Adams with this free kick deep into the area, aimed at Mark Hone, but he didn't make contact. Ball cleared away now by Kidderminster, looking to break quickly, but Paul Cox is there, able to get the ball back to Steve Wilson. Oh dear, he nearly made a mess of that, but was able to keep his composure, and the danger there averted. So it's a throw in to Kidderminster. As I said earlier, Kidderminster struggling away from home this season. They've got a 100% record at home, scoring a lot of goals at Agborough, but they've lost all 3 games that they've played away from home. The Poppies will certainly be hoping that they can maintain that record. There's Colin Vowden, proving that there's more than one way of defending. Rather unorthodox there, but it was very effective. Phil Brown now trying to feed the ball through to Eddie Hayes, and gets a second chance. Hayes really wanting to get across in early, but not able to. Fairly poor effort at the end there by him. The crowd looking a bit quiet, a bit pensive. It's that sort of game, fairly dreary in keeping with the weather. Not much good football being played by either side, I suppose, at this stage. Kidderminster just edging it in terms of possession and the football being played, but they haven't created too much that has caused Steve Wilson any problems in the Kettering goal. The Kettering players having created even less to cause difficulty to Stuart Brock. Stuart Brock, a good goalkeeper, came to Kidderminster from Aston Villa. But it's Kidderminster going forward. There's Ian Arnold shooting from, what, 20 yards? Just past the post. I think Wilson had it covered, but first real sign of danger as far as the Poppies defence is concerned. Wilson now pumping the ball downfield, knocked on by Mark Hone, and there's a good ball through by McNamara. Eddie Hayes coming down this right-hand side, turning onto his left foot. He really is not a right-sided player, but needs must sometimes. And Kidderminster again coming away with the ball. They're beginning to boss this game in midfield. Good tackle there from Mark Hone, though, to get the danger away. The Poppies resilient in defence, and that's been their trademark so far this season. Arnold coming more and more into the game. That really wasn't a very good effort, and no one in the crowd will have been too bothered by that. So it seems to be all Kidderminster at the minute. They're knocking the ball around well in midfield, but Carl Adams there coming in with a timely tackle, getting the ball away. Here's Mason. Oh dear, oh dear. I think that's the Kidderminster captain, Mark Yates, who handling the ball there when he slips over and gets a booking for his trouble. Slightly unfortunate, I suppose, but the way referees now are instructed to book for just about everything, I suppose that was inevitable. Craig Norman coming in now from the free kick, but that's straight into the wall, and the danger cleared away. But it's back in. Oh, Andy Mason here, but Brock beats him there. That was a brave tackle, brave save by Stuart Brock at the feet of Andy Mason, although I fancy the angle might have been a bit too tight for Mason, even if he'd got the ball. Carl Adams again bringing the ball away. Phil Brown trying to play it early. Mason through this time, but no, a late flag there from the assistant referee, signalling another offside. Poppies being caught offside more than the fans would like. And there's Steve Wilson having to gather the ball under pressure from Mark Bignell. Mark Bignell, another interesting play. He always seems to score against Kettering. Here's Arnold again, but Colin Vowden. Poor clearance from him there, giving Arnold a second chance. Kevin Willits putting the ball out to Leroy May, who's able to keep the ball in, just crossing deep there, but again ineffective. Both sets of forwards really not creating any great chances, and the crowd, both Kidderminster fans and Poppies fans, fairly quiet and subdued. Phil Brown here, great chance. Oh, and that goes inches wide. That was a lovely move there. Brack McNamara knocking the ball down to Aidy Hayes. We can see here Hayes' first time ball to Phil Brown, who turns beautifully from the edge of the box. And that was the best chance, certainly, that the Poppies had, going inches wide. There's Arnold again. Willits knocking the ball in, but the Poppies defence strong. Oh dear, John Deacon there trying his luck from 20 yards, but slicing that ball badly wide. So nothing for the crowd to get too excited about. Goal mouth incidents few and far between this afternoon. It's a typical sort of conference game, neither side giving anything away. Kidderminster desperate to get their away form improving. The Poppies unbeaten in 5 games, wanting to preserve that record, but anxious to get the 3 points so they can stay in touch with the leaders at the top of the conference. The Poppies in 3rd place before the game started this afternoon. That's their highest position for 5 years. It's been a difficult year or two at Rockingham Road, but there are signs this season that Peter Morris has put together a squad which will certainly be competitive, if not necessarily championship winning. There's Steve Wilson under a bit of pressure there, punching the ball away, and it falls to Deacon. He's fouled by Aidy Hayes. No, he's not. The referee deciding that was a fair tackle as he blows for half-time. Fairly dreary for the fans, who are getting very wet behind both goals. Scoreline here at Rockingham Road: Kettering 0, Kidderminster 0.
Pegasus Software, the business accounting and management software provider, is proud to sponsor Northants TV's coverage of the Poppies. Pegasus Software, accounting for your success.
That was a great run. Let's go home. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. No good you looking in there. At last he's ringing Auto Home. I knew Auto Home would fix it.
Join now. Dial 100 and ask for free phone Auto Home.
Can we go home now, please? I'm starving.
Pegasus Software, the business accounting and management software provider, is proud to sponsor Northants TV's coverage of the Poppies. Pegasus Software, accounting for your success.
So the second half just about to get underway. Both managers at half-time will have had sharp words with their teams, trying to get them to increase their work rate. Graham Allner, the Kidderminster manager, he's been in charge at Agborough for 15 years now, probably the longest serving manager in the conference, probably in the history of the conference, and he's looking for an improved performance by his side. But Peter Morris is the manager. Certainly at the minute he'll be expecting his players to improve significantly in the second half. They started well with an early corner. Carl Adams knocking the ball into the box. Oh, and danger there. It was Martin Weir coming to the rescue of the Kidderminster defence, knocking the ball away for another Kettering corner. It'll be Phil Brown who takes this. Short back to him, but the whistle goes. Presumably Phil Brown offside there. So the fans still fairly quiet, waiting for this game to burst into life. Desperately needs a goal, but no real signs at this stage of either side being able to break the deadlock. Clear handball there from Ian Arnold, but not given, it would appear. As it is, the Poppies able to clear that danger away. Kevin Willits back with the ball with Kidderminster though, knocking it forward into space. Craig Norman taking the safety first option, knocking the ball out of play to give Kidderminster the throw. It's Hinton here who escapes from A.D. Hayes, and Craig Norman once again to the rescue, blocking that ball, and it goes for a Kidderminster corner down this right hand side. Arnold with the corner, and it was Martin Weir again coming in and heading the ball just wide. Pretty damp for those Kidderminster fans at the Rockingham Road end. But there's a race on here between Bignell and Craig Norman. Bignell winning that, playing the ball here to Ian Arnold, who jinks one way and then the other, gets into the box. Danger here, but it's Norman again who clears the ball away, but the referee appears to have played an advantage, decided that there wasn't one, and has given a free kick to Kidderminster. Dangerous position here. Dean Glover standing over the ball. Steve Wilson trying to marshal at the wall. Ball comes in. Oh, and it's punched away. Oh, Deakin, I think John Deakin from distance there. The whistle's gone, and it looks as if it's a penalty. Yes, the referee's given a penalty. Handball there by Colin Vowden. It's difficult to see how he could get out of the way, but the referee was right on the spot. So Kevin Willits giving Kidderminster the chance to take the lead. He scored from the spot last week, and here it comes. Oh dear, Steve Wilson there kicking the post, kicking himself. The ball went straight under his body into the back of the net. Here we can see this again. Not a very well struck shot, and Wilson did all but save it. He's entitled to feel a bit disappointed that ball beat him and ended up in the back of the net. So Poppies with all the work to do. They're a goal down now. They haven't been playing well this afternoon. It'll be a test of their resolution to see whether or not they can get back into this game. But at the minute, Kidderminster in the driving seat. They're looking to get their first 3 points away from home. The Poppies desperate to maintain this unbeaten record that goes back to the start of the season. They lost at home to Yeovil, the opening game of the season, but 3 wins and 2 draws since then have seen them rocket up the table. Oh, there's an appeal for a handball. Has the referee given has he pointed the spot? Well, if he's given a goal kick, that's clearly an error by the goalkeeper. Strong appeals for a penalty there from Colin Vowden, and the referee, for some reason best known to himself, gave the goal kick. But we've got a substitution here. Goal scorer Kevin Willits makes way for Sean Cunnington. It's Sean Cunnington's debut for Kidderminster this afternoon. He signed from Mansfield, and I know that the Kidderminster fans and all those associated with the club have high hopes for him. He's been injured, coming back from injury, but it's John Deakin now who's knocking the ball in. Mark Home coming in to the rescue to knock that ball away. The Poppies under the cosh here, and Peter Morris will be increasingly concerned at their inability to get a grip on this game. There was a foul there on Steve Wilson, which allows the pressure on the Poppies to be relieved a bit, and Peter Morris deciding that the time is right to make a substitution. Lee Hudson coming on in place of A.D. Hayes. A.D. Hayes has looked out of sorts this afternoon, and Lee Hudson's firepower up front may very well spark the Poppies into life. Phil Brown there trying to knock the ball through to Mason. McNamara lunge there, but he seems to have been caught and has gone down injured, and quite sportingly there, the Kidderminster player knocking the ball out of play to allow Peter Barnett, the physio for Kettering, to come on and tend to Brett McNamara. Sad sign there as he's hobbling off the field. He got a knock on his thigh at Doncaster on Bank Holiday Monday, but that looks to be problems with his ankle, and we'll just have to see whether he can resume. As it is, Poppies down to 10 men just for the moment. It's Carl Adams knocking the ball through to Colin Vowden. He looked to touch offside there, but the flag stayed down. He crosses the ball in, but that was the cross of a central defender rather than an attacking winger. Nevertheless, signs that the Poppies are upping the tempo a little bit to try and get back into this game. But now we've got Colin Vowden down in the opposite penalty box and out of position. And it's a long ball there for Bignell to chase, but Paul Cox, who's been reliable all season in the centre of the Poppies defence, able to clear the ball away. So things looking a bit desperate for Kettering. They'll want to get hold of this ball. And this is substitute Hudson doing just that. Oh, and a late tackle there on Phil Brown, which the referee's seen. And he tried to let the play go on to play an advantage, but it didn't work. And it's substitute Sean Cunnington, who's finding his name going in Mr. Ross's notebook. So not an auspicious start, and there seems to be something off the ball here. Paul Cox and I think Martin Weir getting involved for reasons best known to himself, and that really is a silly booking for Paul Cox, totally unnecessary. And now Peter Morris deciding that Andy Mason has had enough. He hasn't had too bad a game, but Ian Ridgway coming on in, I know, anxious to try and stake his claim in the first team. His opportunities have been limited, but he may be able to create something down the right-hand side. The Poppies pressing forward now more as they look for this equaliser. But it's Kidderminster who are holding the trump cards at the minute. Phil Brown trying to knock the ball in, and Mark Hone running in from deep into the penalty spot, but missing the ball completely, and it goes harmlessly by for a Kidderminster goal kick. And here we have the Poppies moving forward again. That's Lee Hudson brought down on the edge of the box. Now this ought to be a prime opportunity for Craig Norman. Well, it would be if the referee had given the free kick in the right place, but for reasons best known to himself, he has pulled the play back, and it's left to Carl Adams to knock the ball in. Mark Hone trying to get in there, but the Kidderminster defence holding firm. McNamara knocking the ball back to Craig Norman. It's a good cross, that, and there's Phil Brown, all 5'2" of him, against 6'3" Brock. The referee deciding that the midget Brown was the culprit there. Brock suffered a dead leg in the first half. That's why he's not able to take the goal kicks or the free kicks in the penalty area. Dangerous back pass there by Colin Vowden as well, that put Steve Wilson in a spot of bother. And I think that the referee has decided that manager Peter Morris's comments from the dugout have gone just a bit too far. Peter Morris is known as an abrasive sort of character. It's not the first time he's been spoken to a referee. I don't suppose it'll be the last either. It probably won't make a great deal of difference to him and the way he conducts himself. So the clock ticking by, and Kettering becoming increasingly frustrated at their inability to break down this Kidderminster side, who have played some pleasant football, but really with the Poppies in the sort of form they've been, and they should have done a bit better. Have been knocking the ball forward somewhat aimlessly, hoping for a mistake, I think, in the Kidderminster defence, but that hasn't come. And so Bowden knocking the ball forward again, but it's Kidderminster once again picking up the ball, defending this lead for all they're worth. And the fans quiet, pensive, and hoping against hope that the Poppies can pull something back out of this game. There's Mark Bignell trying to force his way past Craig Norman, but the referee saw the foul there and gave the free kick to Kettering. And another one there, a push on Mark Hone as he went up for that ball. And there's a sense of desperation now amongst the Kettering players. They know that there's not much time left, and that they really have got to up the tempo to try and force at least an equaliser. Colin Vowden playing further forward increasingly to try and add some height and weight to the Kettering attack. So they've got a corner here with Carl Adams knocking the ball in. It's knocked away again by the Kidderminster number 6, Mark Yates. And it's another corner, but corners themselves aren't enough for the Kettering side. They need some goalmouth incident. There's Phil Brown knocking the ball to Ridgway. Ball knocked back in by Adams, and there's Vowden. Vowden up with the forwards, the furthest man forward. A lovely header there that gave Stuart Brock no chance, and with what, just seconds left on the clock, the Poppies have snatched an equaliser, which probably on the balance they just about deserve. The applause from the fans more out of relief than anything else. Here we can see again Carl Adams knocking the ball in a beautiful cross with his left foot, and Vowden, the furthest forward, powerful header that really gave Stuart Brock absolutely no chance. So with just moments to go, the Poppies are able to get back into the game. There's a foul there by Mark Yates. Now he's already been booked, and the referee looks of his book, yes, and Yates has been sent off. I suppose right at the end of the game. It's slightly unfortunate, but the foul was certainly warranting a booking, and 2 bookings and you've got to go. So we're just playing out stoppage time. Indeed, the referee has decided that enough is enough. It's been a disappointing, fairly dreary sort of game. Kettering under the cosh for most of the time, but Colin Vowden, the culprit for the sin of the penalty, turning out to be the hero. Final score, Kettering 1, Kidderminster 1. So that's 3 draws in a row now. Obviously 3 wins would be better, but at least the unbeaten run continues. You've got to be satisfied with that.
Yeah, up to a point, and we've got a point today. To play and win games, you've got to make chances. And at the end of the day, we're not making chances. And you only get away with it for so long. And sooner or later, we've got to start making chances if we want to keep in the top 4 or 5.
Well, Colin Vowden, Poppies skipper, you left it very late there, didn't you?
Yes, I'm not particularly sure what minute that I scored in, but it was probably the most important goal I've scored in my Kettering career.